What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster. And prepare to be shocked, folks, but Ubisoft is embroiled in yet another problem that has surfaced recently. The Japanese have got a few choice words for this company who has so poorly represented Japanese culture in their game.
Hey, f*** you! Yeah, that's my message to you. F*** you and kiss my ass.
Every time I turn around, there's another ridiculous story coming out about Assassin's Creed Shadows because Ubisoft couldn't be bothered to do any real research on what their game was about. Clearly, the most important part of the game to this company was plugging in Yasuki and getting people to go along with the multicultural, shit-lib, progressive messaging that they were trying to convey. Meanwhile, these same jackasses at Ubisoft are pushing things like this in their advertising. They are hawking boba tea with pictures of Assassin's Creed Shadows all over it, which is ludicrous since, if you weren't aware, boba isn't Japanese. It's a Taiwanese drink, but apparently, after all the extensive research that these morons at Ubisoft have supposedly done, they've concluded that all Asian cultures are basically the same.
Look up idiot in the dictionary, you know what you'll find?
Picture me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are!
But that is just a small taste of what these absolute screw-ups have done with the game. That is just an appetizer. This is the main course. You may remember we've talked about how there are a ton of Japanese people who are severely pissed off about Assassin's Creed Shadows allowing players to smash up the religious shrines in the game. They were pissed before we found out about that, mind you. The ahistorical portrayal of Yasuki as some major historical figure instead of a footnote is pandering nonsense that they didn't like. But anyhow, as a result of players being allowed to destroy these religious shrines, the matter is being taken to the Japanese parliament.
Oh no.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't expect that this will result in the game getting banned in Japan or anything like that. That is highly unlikely at this late stage before the game releases. However, what this tells us is that the outrage that Japanese folks have against this game has reached the peak of their cultural zeitgeist. What this tells us is that the message has spread. The Japanese folks are pissed off at how their country is being depicted, and this will absolutely cut into sales. Japan is, obviously, a major gaming country, and Ubisoft needs all the sales it can get. I guess they should have thought about that, though, while making the game and doing their so-called research, because by now, they've managed to piss that country off so much that this is the prevailing attitude toward Ubisoft.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberry.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. First of all, before I dig more into this news, I just want to make this little disclaimer. I am not personally offended by this Japanese shrine stuff. I am not a Japanese person, I am not a part of their culture, and I am not offended on their behalf. I am simply reporting on what I'm reading. Every once in a while, when we talk about this sort of thing though, I get some joker in the comment section of my video saying he doesn't understand why I'm so bothered by this sort of thing, and people like that are simply missing the point. It isn't that I personally am offended. These buffoons at Ubisoft, these miserable morons, clearly didn't do the proper research to avoid this landmine with the Japanese people, which, based on how they're butchering the history of the Japanese culture, I can certainly understand the annoyance that the Japanese are feeling. But you can argue until you're blue in the face that this isn't a big deal, and that there were other holy places in other Assassin's Creed games that can be destroyed, and that doesn't matter. The Japanese don't give a shit about what players can and can't destroy in other games. They're pissed about this game because it pertains to them. Shadows should have been a major hit in Japan, but I'm willing to bet that it will have very muted sales as a result of all this controversy. Once more, I will say it. Instead of all the fake-ass historical research that Ubisoft did in order to see what they wanted to see, at least in regards to the Yasuki thing, they should have done actual research and figured out how to avoid controversies like this one. But anyhow, let's read about what's going on with the Japanese parliament. This article here is from Bounding Into Comics. It says, in the latest escalation of Japan's ongoing cultural battle with Ubisoft, a local politician has called on the country's national legislature to firmly and directly speak out against the fact that Assassin's Creed Shadows will allow players to physically thrash an in-game recreation of a prominent real-world Shinto shrine, particularly as he believes this instance of player freedom insults the dignity of our nation and its traditions. Now, I'm going to skip past the recap of the situation where they talk about how players can destroy these religious shrines in the game. We talked the other day about how a few organizations were very upset about all this and were planning to take action against this game, keeping in mind they have gotten games canceled in the country before for this sort of thing. And before anyone gets riled up, I'm personally not an advocate for that kind of censorship. I don't think a game should be flat out banned or canceled, but the Japanese are allowed to do in their country what they see fit, and Ubisoft really ought to have taken Japanese sentiment into account when designing this game. Anyhow, as a result of the shrine controversy being covered in an article which we read the other day on this channel, one Japanese politician, Takeshi Nagase, has picked up the issue and brought it up to the Japanese parliament. We're going to read what he said verbatim, keeping in mind that he is a member of the Japanese political party, which holds majority control over both chambers of the country's main legislative body. So, once again, it would seem that this has reached the upper echelons of the Japanese cultural zeitgeist. But here is what the guy said. Today, I would like to talk about how the hearts of us Japanese people are being trampled upon, began Nagase, as machine translated with assistance from both DeepL and ChatGPT. Have you heard of the game Assassin's Creed Shadows, created by the French game company Ubisoft? This game unfolds its story using real Japanese shrines and temples as its setting. The shrines and Buddhist temples depicted in the game's background are all faithfully recreated in CG, accurately reflecting their current appearance. The game also beautifully portrays seasonal changes and other details with great skill. However, the problem lies in the storyline. The protagonist of this game behaves in an extremely violent and outrageous manner, attacking passing monks with a sword and shooting arrows at people for no reason, recapped the politician. The biggest issue in this game's depiction is, and then he mentions a particular shrine whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I'm not Japanese and I don't want to butcher it. Anyhow, of this shrine, he says, the protagonist is shown barging in with shoes on, decapitating people, and committing unspeakable atrocities, including destroying sacred mirrors and causing complete havoc. To us, such scenes are unthinkable, Nagase then declared. Can we really excuse this just because it's a game? Can we dismiss it as entertainment? Rights that are not asserted will be lost. If something is offensive or unacceptable, we must clearly express our objections. Japan is actively engaging with many foreign visitors, working to increase inbound tourism, but not everything about internationalization is positive. We must clearly state what is unacceptable. Now, they haven't come out and said anything directly about banning the game, and I highly doubt it will happen, but that clearly seems to be the sort of thing that this politician is aiming for. And at this point, I'd like to point out that Japan is, from what I hear, an enormously harmonious society. Things like graffiti and street violence, which are relatively commonplace in places like the United States, are not so commonplace there, and they, the Japanese, have every right to object to such depictions of their society. Others might not understand their objections, they might not agree, but from their point of view, a foreigner, Yasuki, is shown trampling over their religious sites and attacking Japanese people in certain playthroughs of this game, which is undoubtedly jarring for a society like theirs. Agree with it or not, but the Japanese don't care for this, and this is going to cost Ubisoft dearly. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your mockery of the supposed research Ubisoft did for Assassin's Creed Shadows into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.